Hi, my name is Ramon. I'm from the Bronx, New York. I was 13. I lived in Riverside Drive and 160th Avenue, Riverside. Beautiful neighborhood. My mother and father were both born in Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico. My father served in World War II, so he was very militant, and my mother was subservient. One day, I was in the house. He was out, like he normally would be. And I was looking at my mom with all these chores, with the washing of clothes. The machine wasn't working then. I decided to give her a hand. She had already been teaching me how to cook. So I was like kind of familiar with the kitchen, and it was interesting to me. But I never really washed dishes or anything. I'll do that. My father had come up. For whatever reason, he would never be there at that time. That day, he came up. He sees me washing dishes, calls my mother right away. He says, "What is he doing? ¿Qué es lo que está haciendo?" My mother was like, "What does she do? What do you mean? These washing dishes, that's not, something men do." And they started arguing, and next thing you know, I had seen it before, but this time it was different. I was told to leave. He kicked me out of the house for washing dishes. I didn't come through with identifying who I was as sexually or my orientation, any of that. I just knew I was different. I must have been about 14. And I go to a youth group. It was called the Gay and the Young Youth Aid and Advocacy Program. I call and I show up. It was great. I went after school because I came back to go to school. And the program had a few counselors. Well, my first week it was fine, counseling and how are you, how's things at home, the usual. They will send us off to go to job interviews after school work. So I went to my first one. So this person who ran the studio liked me. So this one particular night, I was there for about 2 nights. Afterwards, he said, "No, stay for a little while so we could talk." He told me his wife was out of town. He had a townhouse on 32nd Street. I'm being offered $100 to spend the night. So I go and I freaked out. I said no, and I ran out. I went back to the counselors and I told them what had happened. "Oh, we're sorry, that won't happen again. Try this one." I went to another place, same thing. In a period of about a month or so, I had developed friendships with a few people. So I knew not to go on job interviews again. Because of the traumatic experiences that I was already having in the house and I have had, I found it safer and a lot more safer for me to develop this alter. So I went from being Jose to being called Joe. That's how I wanted to be identified. So Joe was a clean slate. It was a blank canvas. I was able to fill in all the blanks. Who was dad? He was a Frenchman. Who was mom? She was a showgirl on the boat. I can't swim, never been on the boat at the time, but this was great. It was the opposite of everything that was there. Everybody from that moment on, I introduced myself as Joe. Even my own family, being a set of 9, they noticed the change, the shift from Jose to Joe. So I held on to that. But the kids that were there, they introduced me to Greenwich Village. I had never gone to Greenwich Village down Christopher Street ever. I was new. I didn't know what to expect. And I'm walking down Christopher Street and I see guys holding hands, girls holding hands together. So you got to feel their happiness, their openness. That was fabulous for me. So I would come back at night. And that's when I saw even more stuff happening. The drag queens, the trans women. My mom also, parallel to this, was always having trouble pronouncing Joe, but not pronouncing it, just associating it with Jose. because I was always Jose to her. So she would have to really stop and think, Joe. So she's making the effort. My father had already passed away, so he was no longer in the picture. So mom develops Alzheimer's, and Joe has to now take care of mom. I'm with my mother, a home, a career, put myself through school, had to drop out of school again, take care of mom. Now it's an added responsibility. No sooner that I have my mom and the joy of having her, that I lost her. The interesting and most pivotal thing for me during that period was the point where I decided to stop with the person, the personality, the alter of Joe. And when she passed, to honor that, her, I decided to call myself Jose. I had the breakdown. I ended up having to go in and seek therapy. So I did that. Jose became active again. He wanted to live. He started doing different things. I had just gotten into a relationship that didn't work out so well, but it made me realize of what I didn't want and didn't need in my life, which was anything that was not positive, you know. So I looked for everyone and everything that had some kind of light. Here it is, I came around a lot of people that never knew me as Joe. And it was okay. I had all of a sudden developed this need to reintroduce myself to society. The best way I thought how, even though I used a vehicle, was through photography. I didn't have to converse much with people. I can just walk up to someone and say, "Hi, my name is Jose. Could I take a picture?" Jose met this guy named Albert. And Albert, from the first day, had this smile. So I waved and I said, "Is it okay for me to shoot?" And he was like, "Yeah." I met him and I said, "Hey, listen, here's my email. Contact me so I can email you a picture." He said, "Okay, fine. Here's my Facebook. Just contact me on Facebook and you can send it there." I'm like, "Okay, fine." So one thing led to another, and sure enough, about a week or two later, he had to invite me over for dinner. And then we had a second dinner date and so on. And then we decided to just go out together. We're 7 years in so far. It's going great. Congratulations, Jose. Today, Jose Ramon is this well-known artist, photographer, or at least I think I have. So I have all these great things. I have had recognitions and proclamations from state senators. I've had gallery showings, exhibitions, so many great things. I managed to create a project called the White Shirt Project, which deals with stigma on mental health. Managed to create the Bronx LGBT Expo, which is a platform for people to also explore their creativity and greatness and put it on stage and let everybody see. I never thought that I would have the notoriety just from being this Joe, this Jose that I am today. It wasn't something that was planned. I'm able to process. I'm able to appreciate. And Jose today, Jose's in a good place.